Your Ram Navratna here. Welcome to HR Resonance channel. In continuation of my innumerable videos on varied subjects, today I am sharing you information and knowledge on compliance management. In any industry and establishment, compliance play a very important role. That too nowadays because customers, government, auditors, they insist and compliance is mandated. In case of failure of compliance or violence in respect of compliance, that will lead to the other problem. It will have a far-reaching impact on the business. So therefore, compliance management in all the areas, whether it is ISO, whether it is a finance, whether it is a tax, whether it is a labor laws, or whether it is a quality, in all the areas, compliance management play a very important role. That is adherence to the rules, regulations, policies, and procedure. But I am restricting to the presentation on compliance management in respect of HR and labor laws. Very short video. One of the three, four important things one has to keep in compliance management. First point, identifying your obligations. Very important. Under all the laws, what are the obligations of the employer? What are the duties of the employees? Are narrated and they are all informed them. Therefore, employers to be aware and he should be always cautious about his obligations. In that, it may be regulatory or legislative that will be there, and also standards and best practices what are there. The employer has to keep in mind and comply that one. In the absence of that, regulatory authorities may be very vigilant on that. Thus, one has to identify the obligations, employer obligations. Second one is conducting risk assessment. In all the areas and laws, some element of risk will be there, even in day-to-day aspect. So what are all the areas of non-compliance? In the absence of non-compliance, it will have a effect or impact will be there, or there may be damage or loss or penalty may be there, or adverse record will be there. So therefore, what are all the identifying non-compliance areas is second important aspect in that. Third one is developing policies and procedures. So in that, by developing policies and procedures, obligations, and assigning ownership and responsibility play a very important role. In HR, we say any policy to be successful, the employee should own that process. The same way, employer should also possess that one, and he should be very serious. Even their team, staff, who will be there, seriously they have to do. For that, ownership should be there and they should implement and all the time vigilant about that. Next one of the important point is compliance monitoring and reporting. Only by doing identifying obligations, conducting risk assessment, and knowing and developing policies will not be sufficient. One should be compliance monitoring, and also the reporting also play a very important role. In this, whether it is a compliant or non-compliant, to do that, periodical audit should be there and audit observation should be there. Then based on that, from time to time, depending on the severity of the non-compliance, it should be escalate to the management so that that problem or issue can be addressed. So this is how in compliance management, one has to take into the consideration and they should be aware. Well, my dear friends, this is all very, very shortest video on compliance management. All the compliance officers or regulatory persons who are connected to that one, they should keep in mind and they should follow and observe these compliance points in mind so that their compliance will go well way. Thank you, my dear friends, for having viewed and observed this video. If you are liking, please share this video to all the needy and post your liking, and any of your observations or views, don't forget to post in commentary box. Wait for my next video. Thank you very much for viewing my video. Good day. All the best.